Meet Larry. Larry's a dick because he keeps building webs over my shit and then gets really mad when I move him. But anyway, that's Larry. Say hello. Look, she's in pieces again. Yes, this time something else has gone wrong, I know. But then, she is an old bike, and what do you expect? But, before we go any further, he says getting a wet elbow. Don't forget, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and give it a thumbs up if you like it. And we shall start. I apologise for no videos before. I've had a very busy week, and I've also got the flu. So if I sound a bit funny, it's because of that. And I've also got a chest infection as well, so I'll sound a bit horsey and out of breath. But anyway, if you can spot here, look, we have a problem. Dun, dun, dun. And then if I turn on there, you'll see we also have a problem here and a problem here. Which, strangely enough, if I turn off my side lights, goes away. Believe it or not, the problem is easy to diagnose, and I'll be interested to know how, if you can diagnose it. Put it in the comments. Pause now, hit the comment section below, tell me what you think the problem is, because I will be telling you in a second. Right, now the problem is easy to identify, that's the word I'm looking for. The solution, on the other hand, may not be, because the simple reason is this is a digital dashboard. It's not analog, it's digital, but the problem is it's craply made. And the reason why it's craply made is, he says, trying to see if it will come out. Excuse me, will I just pull this out? We have on the back a printed flexible dashboard, circuit board, sorry, a flexible circuit board. And as you can see, it's been repaired in 2 places already, because the circuit board is exposed to God knows what, and after a while fails. Now, I could buy a new one, but that would be £1,200. They're going for nearly 200 quid second hand, but what I can do, and what I am going to attempt to do, bearing in mind it's also raining, if you can see, look, weather shit. Oh, I thought I saw a rainbow then, but never mind. Is rewire it. So that's my plan. That is my plan, is to see if I can rewire it. So basically what I'm going to do is replace all the bulbs for soldered in LEDs and replace all the connectors and basically rejoin here. Now if you've watched my other videos when I've talked about wiring diagrams and stuff like that, this is the beautiful thing. This is what happens, is that when you start understanding wiring diagrams, that you can go on to something as complex as this. Now obviously our first plan is to take said unit out, which we will do, and luckily that is the temperature sensor for the outdoors, and that is fine because that is that's a separate plug-in. I don't need to worry about that because that plugs inside there. Okay, so now our first thing, you see the screws, all those screws are actually power points, so they actually provide power or earth to the varying components inside, and then obviously then you've got your turny signal bulb things there. So what I need to do is find a way of completely rewiring this. Now to do that I'm going to need yet again a wiring diagram and a piece of paper and a pen, because the first step is planning. There's no point doing anything without planning first. Now what I may do is, once I've gone inside, I'm going to go inside, I'm going to go over the wiring diagram, but what I may do, because I'm going to have to change these plugs, so I've got an option of either soldering directly here so that it's fixed and it's never going to come off, or changing these to plugs so that I can. So what I might do is, once I've identified these cables, is to actually cut the plugs off and take them inside, so that because a lot of the work I've got to do is got to be done inside. So the first thing we've got to do is get outside, get out of the rain, because it is raining, and go inside and crack out our wiring diagram. So join me in my little studio. Right, so I'm hoping you can see this. I'll find out shortly, but as you can see, we have the dashboard off. So our first job is to get the printed circuit board off, and also to take the front cover off. So front cover are these screws here, there, and then obviously the printed circuit board is remove the bulbs, there, undo all the screws and basically pull it off, and that's literally it. There's nothing else spectacularly hard, so to speak, about this. But what you will see is, you'll see where, so like there's damage here, so there's no power going from that to that, so that's been repaired, and the same here. So and as you can see here on the circuit board, there's lots of areas where basically water's got in between the two layers, because there's a base layer, the printed circuit, and then another layer on top. Water gets in between the two and contaminates it and causes the actual bits to rot away. So what you'll find is, and if I'm not much mistaken, the reason the indicator light's on is because the earth is broken, and I'm not sure if you can see that, and I'm hoping the camera's pointing in the right direction, but just there's a break, which means that there's no earth going to the side light here, which will cause a backfeed through the earthing system. There's probably going to be breaks other places. All this is not very good either, so it's basically not looking overly very good, to say the least. So so as I said, so the first stage is planning. If you're doing something like this, it's planning. There's no point rushing into this, because if you rush into this, you could cause more problems. So obviously planning is paramount, and I will be doing that in the next video, in fact, actually. So this video I'm just going to concentrate on. This is going to be over a few videos, because it's going to be a hell of a project to do, and it's going to take me some time to do it. And I will admit, this is the first time I've ever done this, but it is something I know I can do, and hopefully, if I get the instructions right, if you have a similar problem, you can do the same. Now obviously the biggest issue I've got is once I've got it all planned and I know what I'm going to be doing and what I'm going to be using, one thing I do have to do is I have to go out and correlate the plugs. So obviously the plugs go into here, which feed the power through the varying components. So basically I'm going to be bypassing these plugs, and I'm going to be going directly to the components. So it's going to be a case of working out how I'm going to connect all the lights together. So I'll probably be using a soldered LEDs and finding a way of putting them in their respective holes. Once I've worked that out, I can connect all the negatives together. These screw bits, they're easy to work out once you know whether they're ground or they're positive. They're pretty easy to work out, because all I need to do is put a very small connector on there and connect it to whichever plug it's going to. But one thing I will have to do is measure the voltage, because I need to work out whether or not I'll have to put resistors on any of the LED bulbs, or resistors anywhere else in the circuitry. So as you can see, if I take this one off here, you see that's pretty easy, because all that is just wire wrapped around there to provide power to that. So I say these screw bits, they're the easy bits, and these screw bits actually screw into the dash at the back, which you will see very shortly. And I need to find out why as well. My speedo suddenly is reading 170 miles an hour, which I don't know why, as it's a digital, and as I say, it's a digital speedo as well, so something's gone awry there, which I need to check out. So that's the the last screw here, I believe. And then I just need a flat-headed screwdriver to pull this circuit board off. So, he says losing his screwdriver. Go over there, you. 2 screwdrivers over there. Right. So what I need to do now is, using a flat-headed screwdriver, is just to go underneath these little tabs, because all they do is attach to these tabs, like so. Very simple, very easy. It's usually easy to start this side as well, actually, and move across. Now obviously time sort of is against me on this, because if I need to use the bike, one thing you've got to remember is in the UK, if you have a motorcycle, or any vehicle come to that matter, that travels more than 30 miles an hour, you've got to have a speedo. By law you have to have a working speedometer, which is why I need to get this fixed. Now I can do a temporary fix on the speedo, but that's not a problem, it's everything else. On the speedo I can use my tablet as a GPS speedo, because I've done that before. I use that in order to calibrate, because on the VFRs the speedos can be a little bit out of sync, because as I say they're digital. And then I use the speed healer from Heel Tech, lovely place, lovely company, to rectify the speed difference. Because my speedo, I think when I was running, if I ride at 70 miles an hour, I'm actually doing 60 miles an hour. Oh, hello, that's fell out. Oh, I need to repair that, don't I? I seem to be missing a piece off there, which I need to look at. So that's something I need to look at, repair. So there we are, that's our circuit board. So there's our circuit board. And as we can see, there is a lot of damage in a lot of areas on our circuit board. That's there. Oh, it's still connected there. So that's the base. Then you have the circuit board printed underneath, and then you have another piece of paper, another sheet of laminate over the top. But as you can see, that laminate's actually gone away and disintegrated. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to see if I can photocopy this, so I've got a piece of paper which I can then write on, and then label stuff and plan and everything else, which I will do in the next video. So there you go. So dashboard's off. I just need to take the front cover off. I might strip it completely down and give this a good clean, because it's very dirty. And then join me in the next video, where we shall be planning on how we are going to repair this and get it back working again. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on the notifications and give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Cheerio, goodbye, and arrivederci.